Honorable Justice V.G. Arun Sir, Judge High Court of Kerala, my brother judges Sri Pasun Mohan Jayakumar, the IG of Police who is present here, Dr. V.A. Arun Kumar, Director IHRD, dignitaries and friends. The present topic for the conclave is artificial intelligence and judicial system. Strictly speaking, I am not now part of the judicial system, even though Law Secretary is a senior district judge. At the same time, I am the chairman of the Air and Water Appellate Authority handling appeals from the orders of the Pollution Control Board. So even though I am not in the mainstream of the judicial system, I am now manning a court, the Air Water Appellate Authority. Along with me, there are other 3 members also. So in that sense, I am now is competent to speak on the problems faced by the judicial system and how that problems can be solved through the artificial intelligence system. I am having my experiences as a judicial officer, and I am sharing with you my experiences and my thoughts how to improve the efficiency of the judicial system. When Dr. Arun Kumar approached me for inviting me to this conclave, I asked him, why you are inviting? Because I am not an expert in the field of artificial intelligence. Then he told me that I can share my thoughts, you can share your thoughts or your problems in the judicial, while working as a judicial officer in the judicial system, so that if it is possible to remedy those problems with the help of artificial intelligence, that is only what we want to know from you. So I now try to impress upon you the small problems which are faced in the judiciary in the matter of disposing cases in discharge of the duty as a judicial officer. Definitely, the judiciary needs help of artificial intelligence for improving its efficiency. I now focus on 4 points on this issue. The first is searching of precedents. You see, precedents is a main area in the dispensation of justice, because all courts are bound by the precedents of the higher courts. So the courts have to follow the precedents of the lower courts have to follow the precedents of higher courts for in deciding cases. That is because the judicial system should get consistency. So the lower courts are bound by the decisions of the higher courts. So for searching these precedents, in olden days, it was a Herculean task, because we have to go through volumes of books for searching these precedents. Now, these booksellers, these publishers have introduced apps. Various kinds of apps have been developed, wherein the precedents are stored in these apps, so that the lawyers and judges can very easily search these precedents and can use these precedents in finding out the correct position of law in such a problem. That is the first area in which the judicial system is facing difficulties. So, for searching of the precedents, AI enabled the apps is very helpful. And next is, as our Honorable Justice has said, Now the filing of the cases are through e-filing mode. For filing of the cases also, the e-filing mode requires the assistance of artificial intelligence. As our Honorable Justice said, Kerala has advanced much on this field. Now we have introduced e-filing in almost all courts in Kerala. So now the advocates have to file the cases through e-filing mode. And after some time, the entire system in the judicial filing will be handled by e-filing system. There also the assistance of artificial intelligence is of having great importance. Now the third area is regarding the dictation software. As you know, as far as judges are concerned, dictation of judgments is the main duty of the judges. So for that purpose, now we are using the help of stenographers. We used to dictate to the stenographers and they take the dictation and thereafter typewrites those dictations, transform into writing. Now, there are several dictation softwares to take down the dictations. Our Honorable High Court has provided dictation software to the judicial officers of the state of Kerala. You see, earlier we have given a software called Dragon software for dictation. While using Dragon software, there were several mistakes in that while dictating, and when the matter is typewritten, there used to be several mistakes. But now a new software has been given. As the Honorable Justice has said, AI-enabled AI Adalat software has been given by the Honorable High Court. And on using that software, I find that the amount of mistakes is very less. So, the use of dictation software, especially AI-enabled software, will help a lot in the dictation of judgments by the judicial officers and the stakeholders who are in the field. That is one of the field which requires the assistance of AI. Another field is regarding the evidence. As you know, for deciding cases, evidence is a must. Evidence means both documentary evidence and oral evidence. Documentary evidence, the importance of documentation is very much necessary as far as documentary evidence is concerned. The judges are finding it very difficult to document the documentary evidence and view it easily. Because while I was working as a vigilance judge, there are several documents. We have to go through several documents while for the purpose of disposing a case. Documentary evidence. So huge bundles of documents will be there. So if there is an AI-enabled documentation of these documentary evidence, and if it can be easily analyzed by the judges, it will be very easy for judges to analyze the evidence which is involved in the case, especially documentary evidence. Another field is the oral evidence. As far as lower judiciary is concerned, as you know, oral evidence is a very important part in the decision making regarding the disposal of a case is concerned. As you know that our system, Indian system of deciding cases is adversary type of litigation. That means one party is asserting something and the other party is denying the same. So, ultimately the role of the court is to find out truth. So, finding out truth in such a kind of trial is very difficult. Oral evidence plays a very important part in the decision taking process. So, now in the lower judiciary, as you know, the oral evidence or the statements which are stated by the witness has to be recorded by the judicial officer, handwritten. He has to write down the deposition, or the oral evidence has to be taken down by the judicial officer. It is taking much time and energy. So, if a software is developed so that whenever the witness articulate matters, if it is transformed into writing, much of the time and energy of the judicial officer can be spared. So, such a kind of artificial intelligence software has to be developed, wherein the Malayalam oral evidence of the witness has to be transformed into the writing mode, so that the copy of the deposition can be given to the advocates then and there itself. Moreover, such a software should not have much mistakes also. Such a software is very much necessary for the purpose of recording the oral evidence of witnesses. If the statement of witnesses are given to the advocates in time, because they rely on the oral evidence of the witnesses for arguing their case. So, if we are able to give the statement of witnesses at the earliest, the advocates will argue the case in time. And if the dictation software is with the judicial officer, the pronouncing of judgment will become very much easy. And the judicial officer can dictate the judgments whenever he finds time. Nowadays, you can see that the stenographer will be available only during the office hours. But if the dictation software, AI-enabled dictation software with the least mistake is provided to the judicial officer, then he is able to dictate his judgments whenever he finds time. So, this will also help to increase the efficiency of the judicial system. Now, I want to say something regarding the problem which is faced by the law department also in this matter. You see, our law department has to give several opinions on legal points to several departments. That is our main duty. One of our main duty in the law department is to give opinion regarding the legal points or legal doubts which are posed by other departments, which we used to call line departments. You see, whenever a doubt is given to us for advice by a department, if we are able to know the previous opinion which was given on that subject matter earlier, then we can go through that opinion and give a consistent opinion next time. Now we are facing a problem for documentation of the previous opinions as far as law department is concerned. So, documentation of previous opinions on the law points, if available with the help of artificial intelligence, it will be very helpful for the law department to documentize the previous opinion, verify those opinions again, and give a consistent opinion to the line departments. Because if there is any contradictory opinion given by the law department, the line department or other department will again ask, you see, last time you have given such an opinion, now you have given a different opinion, please clarify. So, in order to avoid such conflicts or differences, our department also needs a AI assisted documentation for the purpose of documenting these opinions. Another problem which is faced by the law department is the documentation of amendments. You see, as you know, there will be several amendments in the law. When society progresses, our demands of the society will be different, changes, so that we have to change law also. Especially in the financial matters, in each budget, there will be amendments to the financial acts. So, these amendments have to be documentized. Nowadays, it is very difficult to documentize these amendments. The difficulty is that when such one amendment is not noticed when making another amendment, it will create uproar in the assembly. Whenever the minister is moving these amendments, the opposition will raise this issue. You see, in that amendment, you have changed something, and now without noticing that amendment, you are now making such an amendment. So, the documentation or compiling of previous amendments with AI assistance is very much necessary as far as law department is concerned. So, the assistance of artificial intelligence in that field, I think, is also very necessary as far as law department is concerned. Here also you see that all departments in secretariat, including the law department, for taking a decision on a file, notes of officers is necessary. First the file will go to the lowermost officer. He will examine the file and he will make some notes. Thereafter, this file go to the next superior officer. He will go through these notes and the file and he will make a note. This process goes on, and finally the superior officer has to take a decision after going through these notes and the file. Of course, now in secretariat, the entire file is dealt by e-filing mode, or the files are now computerized. So, everything can be read in the computer. That system is now available. But dictation and notings are even now done with the help of typists and stenographers, Malayalam as well as English notings. So, if the dictation software AI-enabled dictation software is developed and given to the officers and installed in the laptops which are given and provided to the officers by the secretariat, the disposal of the files will become more easy and more fast. So this is also an area as far as law department is concerned where I think artificial intelligence has a great role to play. Now I have to tell about the drawbacks. So what are the drawbacks as far as the artificial intelligence system is concerned? First drawback which the critics would say, as our honorable judge has said, it cannot replace the brain of a man. The discretionary power of the judge, always discretionary power is a very important role as far as a judge is concerned. The judge has to consider the facts and circumstances of each case and take a decision considering the facts and circumstances of each case. The judge has to apply his mind on the problem on the case and take a decision. How far this discretion can be used by artificial intelligence, or how far the application of minds can be made by the artificial intelligence, I think it is very difficult for the artificial intelligence to replace a human judge. So the next disadvantage is with regard to the loss of employment opportunities. The critics would say that the artificial intelligence, if used rampant, if it has become rampant, the employment opportunities will be reduced. In a state like Kerala, where the unemployed youth are more, we have to address the concern regarding the loss of employment whenever the artificial intelligence is used in each and every field. Another criticism is with regard to the loss of creative ability of humans. So original thinking of the humans will be lost. Reading and writing will be lost, because whenever you dictate, it will automatically type. So the writing will be lost. The artificial intelligence will provide with you all required data, so that your reading will decrease. So the critics would say that the creative ability of humans will be considerably reduced if the AI system is used rampantly. This will ultimately make the humans lazy. So this disadvantage has to be taken care of by the researchers in the field. I have as now stated some of the problems which are faced by the judicial system while officiating as a judicial officer. As an advocate, I have practiced 6 years, and also now as a law secretary. These are the common problems which are now faced by the stakeholders in the judicial system. If these issues are addressed through artificial intelligence, the efficiency of the judicial system can be considerably increased. However, regarding the criticism of the artificial intelligence, we know that when society progresses, several of our needs have to be addressed swiftly. For that purpose, we cannot brush aside the a need of artificial intelligence also. So I congratulate the organizers for organizing such conclaves to discuss on matters over the use of artificial system in different fields and to find out solutions, swift solutions for enhancing the efficiency, etc. I think that this conclave will help great. These are the thoughts which I want to share with you regarding the use of artificial intelligence in the field of judicial system and the law department of the Kerala government. I express my deep gratitude to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to address this erudite gathering on these subjects. I am thankful to you to listen for listening me such a long time. Thank you all.